Hey guys, it's Trinity Volk here, and thought I would not do a tier list, but I felt like making a top five and bottom five video, just for fun. Don't take this seriously. A couple of the characters I'll talk about, I'm like very definitive about where they sit on the tier list in this game, but a lot of characters I think are in flux. Um, but I just felt like sharing who I think my top five and bottom five are. So I think I'll start with top five, and this one's pretty easy for me. I think that it kind of goes Luke, Jury, JP, um, DJ, and Guile. DJ and Guile might be like substitutable with each other, but yeah. Um, so I'll go over in detail. So Luke, I think it's pretty obvious. He is just kind of the best Shoto in a game where being a Shoto is pretty good because of how good the universal mechanics are. He does high damage. He has the most chances to steal turns because of charged turnaround punches and things like that. Um, I think he is good. Or he's like definitely number one. Do I think it's bad in this game though, in the same way it was in Street Fighter V? No, I don't think he's overpowered. Really, he's playing an honest game, and he does it the best. And I think that when you're talking about balance wise, I think that is the best type of top tier you can have. Is a character that they just play the game really well. They don't have some kind of weird outlier going on. So, as a consequence of that, that's also why I think Jury is the same way. She's not a Shoto, obviously, per se, but Jury is just a juiced, well-rounded character. I do kind of think she needs some nerfs for what she does. And I'll talk about that in another video. I plan to make some videos about if I was going to speculate what characters need nerfs and buffs in this game. I definitely think Jury needs, at least I think Jury needs to lose crouching medium to drive rush. She gets so much damage off of it, and it's so easy for her to fish with it. It feels kind of like, it feels a little bit antithetical to the way the game is meant to work. And that is one thing about this character that seems antithetical to the game, is that she gets so much reward off the tiniest hit when she dumps meter and resources in a way that a lot of characters are not. And that's a big strength for her. Like, her neutral and zoning isn't as good as Luke's, but when she hits you, she hits so hard off of the tiniest stray hit that it's kind of silly. But once again, I don't think she's unfair. I think she might need some, to have her edges refined a little bit, but she's not unfair or anything. Now, JP, I fucking hate this character. And while he does have problems in like the close mid-range area, and there are some characters that will just body him sitting there, and he does have bad matchups, like Honda and Blanca seem to be really bad for him. When it comes to characters that play like regular kind of Street Fighter though, I think this character is a bit problematic. He's very polarizing in an NRS kind of way, and that's obviously not a new idea. JP has been compared to an NRS zoner multiple times in this game, and it's true. The thing is, he is just on the verge of being fair, but the counter and command grab hitting mid and beating drive rush is ridiculous. And that means that there are just some characters that are just never going to be able to get in on this character once he knocks you full screen. I think it is fine. A lot of people complained about how he gets full screen off a jab, but I think that's fine. I think it's more that there are a couple of aspects of his character that just should not be there. Um, I think the counter should lose to throws, and I think the command grab should be fully duckable, and it should not be drive rush. Um, Otherwise, I think he's fine. But those two things alone make him kind of stupid. And now there are people who think that they want the portals to go away if he gets hit. I don't know about that. That might be too much. But he's definitely, I don't know, man. He's polarizing. He's hard to judge, but we thought this character was going to get worse as the game went on, and he only seems to be getting better, not worse. The more things people find with him. So, yeah, I think that if there is a character for the good of the game that might need to be touched, it's JP. But I would only touch the things I mentioned. Because I'm not looking to kill anyone in this game. There isn't a character that tilts me like I want them erased from existence. This isn't an NRS game, you know. Then we'll go to my character, DJ. So I've gone over why this character is so good. He has really great neutral. He has serviceable zoning. He does gigantic damage off any given hit. And he's like very efficient with resources, so he's able to make use of the system a lot. And that can be pretty strong. I'm incorporating more and more things like perfect parries into my game, and it's becoming more and more valuable to be able to do that stuff with this character, which is why he's so resource efficient. I think he is meant to do that. But yeah, this is where we start getting into weaknesses of the top tiers, as I've said before. His anti-airing is not great. He mostly has to air with the medium heavy punch TC, and he doesn't have a low that's drive rush cancelable, confirmable, or comboable. And I do think that matters in this game a lot. But yeah, like people think I like to downplay my characters, but I will never downplay DJ. He's really good. He's definitely top 5. He's a little bit more complicated too. I think that factors in. He requires more situational awareness and conversion awareness than other characters on this list. So that also factors in. Like I think that JP, Jury, and Luke are more elementary. They're easier to pick up. But yeah. And so Guile is kind of the same thing. He plays a more defensive zoning game than DJ, but they are very similar. Guile has good anti-airs, though, and he has a drive rush confirmable low, if I recall correctly. Someone tell me if I'm wrong. But he's kind of the same way. Very resource efficient, does good damage off any hit. His utility is crazy. His super utility in this game, kind of like DJ's, is really good. He has many options. And, yeah, Guile's just good. Some characters, he's also polarizing in a JP kind of way. According to some people, it feels like there are some characters that just cannot fight him. I disagree with that. I think you're going to see more people get used to doing things like perfect pairing, sonic booms, and drive rush punishing from half screen. But still, they would have to worry about Guile's other tools, which are all great. So that's my top 5 in this game, from best to worst. So I'm going to do bottom 5, but I think I'm going to do bottom 5 from worst to best. So the first one for me up here is good. Like a lot of people seem to disagree but I think it's Lily. I think Lily's the worst character in the game. So why do I think Lily's the worst character in the game? So for starters, she is dependent on the wind stocks to be a functional character, right? Everyone kind of knows this. So here's the problem. Uh, Stock on block is always DIable. It's always perfect parryable. You might have to know the difference, when you can parry and when you can DI, but the fact is they're reactable every time, so she cannot get them for free on block anymore, as we're seeing. And that leads her to do it in neutral. Well, there are characters like the top tiers in this game, and that's important, right? When you're measuring a character's worth, you have to think about how they do against the top tier common characters. And like if she's fighting Luke, Luke will just OD Sand Blast her in reaction to doing a stock. Like she just can't do it. And I will say it feels like a character flaw that her command grab puts her full screen for the kind of character she is, right? She's kind of meant to be this maniac gremlin character that wants to get close and do party time, and she's not allowed to do party time. And she doesn't have the tools that the other grapplers have that allow that to happen. So, yeah, I do think Lily is, like, she's definitely weak, in my opinion. Not bad, I guess, but no, she's kind of bad. I'm going to say she's kind of bad. Yeah, this character sucks, I think. But maybe we'll be proven wrong in the future, we'll see. But she has too many gaps, and she doesn't get rewarded enough for what she does and what she has to do. Next on the tier list for me is Dhalsim. I think he's better than Lily, but it's kind of obvious the system just does not seem to benefit him right now whatsoever. He might get better as the Dhalsim players get better, because he has always been kind of a hard character that has to be developed for a long time. But like the fact that now when you get hit in neutral on an extended limb, that you're not just taking like a grip of damage from a single normal, but you're getting, DR full comboed all the time, that's really bad for this character. And his combo damage isn't great, his convertibility isn't great. SF5 classics, like the teleport mix-up gimmicks, seem to be worse in this game, especially with the existence of perfect parry. If you see Dhalsim teleport and he tries to do jumping, you can perfect parry it. I'm not sure what he's supposed to do in this game right now. But yeah, I think he's one of the worst in the game, for sure. I don't think he's good at all. After that, I am going to put Jamie. Just the fact he starts from behind, and even when he's in level 4, he has some good things, right? Like the command grab, and his 50-50 gets stronger for sure. But it just feels like he has to work too hard, and it feels like he's got to take more risks than a lot of other characters. If it weren't for all the guessing you have to do against him in level 4, he would be lower on the list. But I don't think Jamie's the greatest character. I don't have much thoughts on him beyond that, because nothing ever sticks out to me about this character from all the time I've played so far. Okay, so now we're kind of getting into the territory where I'm going to have a controversial pick, and also I'm not even sure how you measure characters from this point, because after those three, I think you get into characters that are just decent. Like they're good enough and they can win. So actually I have two controversial picks. We'll talk about those. My first controversial pick is Zangief, because a lot of people put him bottom 1 or 2. This character cannot be bottom 1 or 2, I'm sorry. The command grab damage, the way that you can use DR and parry to muscle through things and get SPD punishes on projectiles and shit, there's no way this character can be bad. I refuse to believe it. The robbery factor is too high. Level 3 is like the best level 3 in the game, in my opinion. because it's literally an unreactable one frame half-life command throw that all someone has to be doing is not already jumping to get hit by. This character's dumb. But he's not the best. He does have problems getting in on certain characters. But I refuse to believe this character is bad. There's just no way. And then finally, and this is purely biased in my experience talking, I do not think Honda is good. Or at least like top tier. So why do I think this? Well, it mainly comes from the fact that the more I play this game and the more Hondas I play against, no matter how unpredictable they are, I can react, parry, headbutt, and butt splash. So far. I have never ran into a Honda in the last week where I did not parry 90% of the butt slams and the headbutts, which leads to just doing normal Honda shit, which is just okay. Maybe I'm wrong about this. I don't see it when people are putting this character. There are people putting him in top 5 and top 10. I just don't think so. I think the better people get at this game and the more that people accept that they just have to parry this character, he's going to get worse and worse as time goes on. And that's always kind of a thing that impacts balance perceptions of a game, is characters where you're forced to use a skill or learn a skill that you're not otherwise going to use, right? I think that parry is just like something that enhances your game in this game. You don't have to be good at using it. You don't have to necessarily learn it. But against Honda, you do have to learn how to use it. And that's the main hurdle, I think, for people, is they're not used to doing that. But the more I incorporate it into my game and the better I get at it, the worse this character gets. I haven't lost to a Honda in the last week or so because of this. So that's my top 5 and bottom 5 opinion on Street Fighter 6. Let me know what you guys think. And I'm going to peace out for now. See ya.